Oh, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is another steamy hot Monday afternoon. I was able to get some stuff done to the bike over the weekend. Got my Pod 300 mounted up in its probably permanent location. Got my Samco hoses on, and also got my SC carbon fiber tank cover, which I'm really enjoying. This has been a pretty brutal summer. It's just either way too hot to even ride or raining. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of traffic on the highway. Damn. I really like this tank cover, man. I feel very secure compared to before. I don't have anywhere to go up. I can't move forward. I'm planted. And I can still tuck, which is awesome. Air fuel looks good though. Well, definitely not taking the highway back. Holy cow. I figured why not go over a few things. I'm gonna compile a little video of putting together the Samco hoses. I didn't video the whole process, but I did take many pictures, so do a little bit of a walkthrough on that. Pretty straightforward. You have a 8mm bolt at the bottom of the water pump. That's your drain. You can loosen that, take it out, go to the other side, remove this panel so you have access to your radiator cap. They recommend removing the whole side fairing, but you can reach everything just fine by removing this. Loosen your cap, take that off, make sure the bike's cool, or else you're going to get a face full of coolant, and then the coolant will start flowing out of there really well. Let that all drain out really good. While that's doing that, you can come over to this side. Now you will have to take off the 3 bolts, the back bolt, the 2 clips, the center clip, and the bottom clip. Remove this side so you can loosen the 10mm bolt holding the radiator overflow bottle to the radiator. Tip that over, dump it out, take the bottom hose, dump it out, however you want to do it. Loosen that bolt so that the tank could go up vertical enough to drain everything, because there is a little pocket on the side over here. Flush that all out with some water. Basically I just kept filling it with water until it drained clean. And then same thing, once all the coolant's out of your bike, I pour in 1 gallon of distilled water and just let it flow. So the bolt's still off the water pump, just pouring in water, letting it flow out basically until it's clear, usually about the whole gallon of water. Once that gallon's through, I will put the bolt back in the water pump, take about a half a gallon of distilled water. So I do recommend having 2 gallons of distilled water on hand. I will fill the system up just like I was going to put it, all back together. Now at this time all the factory hoses are still on there. Fill the system up with water, put the bolt radiator cap back on, start the bike, and let it reach complete operating temperature. Alright, so I've removed the fairings, drained the coolant, and right now the system is filled with just distilled water. I'm going to let it run until the thermostat opens, and then drain it again. Now I've also already flushed water through the system until it was coming out clear. This just makes sure you're going to get all that old factory coolant out of there, because we are going to engine ice. And then let the fan cycle. Once the fan cycles, we're waiting right now for that fan to come on. It's at 174, so it should be coming on pretty soon. And then I'm going to flush it one more time, and it'll be ready for the Samco hoses to go on, as well as the engine ice to go in. I usually let it run for, I don't know, probably close to 10 minutes. I mean, I really let it get good and hot so that water can cycle through the system. Turn the bike off, let it cool down for, another 10-15 minutes, because that water is going to be hot, obviously. And then repeat the process of draining the system. At this point, you should have pretty much all the old coolant out. Then start disassembling the factory hoses. This side's pretty easy. You got 3 connections. Even with the factory T setup, it's still just one component. So you got a top clamp, side clamp, bottom clamp. Some of them are regular screw clamps, some of them are the press fit ones. So get all your clamps off, pull your hoses off. They'll probably be on there pretty good. So one good way to do it is if you have a little flathead bit, just kind of go around the edges, take some pliers and just give that little hose a little twist until you break the seal, and then just work it off back and forth real slow. If you're planning on keeping those original hoses, you'll have to take your time because they will tear pretty easy. I highly recommend you get the Samco clamps. Do not reuse your factory clamps on Samco hoses. Everything's off. The clamp kit's like 35 bucks. Plus, if you use Samco's clamps, they will warranty the hoses for life, I believe. So, a little benefit for $35, $36. Yeah, then you fill the system back up. What I do is usually fill the overflow bottle to the low line, cap that off, fill up the radiator until you see it at the top, close it up, start the bike, let it run with the radiator cap still off. I'll let it run until it hits operating temperature. Fan cycles once again. You'll see it, a little bit of air bubbling out of there. Once it's cycled, turn the bike off, put the radiator cap on, start it back up, let it do it again, turn it off, let it cool down completely, see where the overflow bottle is at, and add coolant to the bottle as needed. I used 1 whole half gallon of engine ice and about maybe a cup or 2 full of a second one to top the whole system off. But I would get 2 bottles of engine ice, the half gallon bottles, just in case. Never a bad thing to have a little bit extra anyway. Now, the SE Composite tank cover, I am in love with it. It looks good. I wish I could have got it in matte carbon, and probably an option out there somewhere because I have seen matte carbon ones. I don't know if they offer it that way, but it is what it is. Everything else on the bike will be matte carbon. I'll have a glossy tank cover. I mean, I may even at some point a little bit of a paint job where this matches the bike coming down, and you can almost see this center line. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's almost like a perfect center line that comes up here. So with a good tape job and some good painting, I could paint the sides to match the tank, but we'll see, because I got tank grip pads coming, the snake skin ones, and once those go on there, it's going to cover up quite a bit of the side of the tank. So we'll see how that looks. But even just without the tank grips, you feel way more secure not being able to slide up on the bike. You can still tuck really well. I was worried about being able to tuck with that big hump there, but it doesn't affect tucking at all. I haven't found it to affect tucking. I don't really have a gut, so that might be one thing to take into consideration. I also just received an email from Motomillion. Thank you for your order. We wanted to let you know that your order was shipped. Look at this. SC1 exhaust by SC Project. It's shipped. It's on its way. I may have it before the end of the week. If not, definitely for next week. Yeah, baby. Thank you once again for tuning into the channel. I don't ask very often, but consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Maybe hitting the bell to get notifications. And like and share the video. It'll help me out a lot. I'd really appreciate it. Try to get this channel up into the thousands before the end of the year would be amazing. So gonna have some good firearm videos coming up soon now that the ranges are open back up. Gonna go shoot and test some different guns once I can get a hold of them, because of course everything's on back order and ammo is non-existent. But alright guys, thank you for tuning in, and until the next video, stay safe. Peace.